Everybody always says I swear too much when I do reviews, but I don't have to feel bad this time because it's actually got fucking right in the title of this movie because it's called Stay Out of the Fucking Attic. I'm home free with this one. Hey guys, welcome to Happywax TV, and tonight we are talking about another Shudder original. It's called Stay Out of the Fucking Attic. I'm just going to say this right off the hop, that this is low budget. This is a low budget movie. I am going to praise how this flick looked, because for a low budget movie, this did not look like a low budget movie. I would love to know what camera and what lenses he used to film this. Man, oh man, Jaron Lauder, it's your first time doing a feature-length film, and I think for the most part, you nailed it. The one thing that really held this movie back, I think, was budget restraints, and I'll get into that in a sec, but let me just get through this really fast. The three main stars, actually 4 stars of this movie are, well, the main star anyways is Ryan Francis, who plays Schillinger. If you go way back in the day to the movie Hook, he played the young Peter Pan, so this guy has been around for a while. And then Michael Flynn would be the other kind of really big name in this movie. Basically, the synopsis is there's 3 ex-criminals, Schillinger, Imani, and Carlos, and they've started up this moving company called Second Chance Movers. And they've taken on this contract from Vern, who is like an older German fella, and he needs to move quick. Okay, he has a massive mansion-y style house. It's very beautiful. In fact, that the filming location inside this house was fantastic, because the house itself is a character in this movie. It really is. Anyways, he gives them this contract where they have to get everything out of this house, before the morning, so he can get out of there. He doesn't explain why. Well, we find out why later in the third act, but he doesn't tell them why. He just pays them a shit ton of cash, and basically says, "Can you do it or not?" And they say yes, they will. They'll work all night to do it. His only stipulation is that they have to be moved out by the morning, and they are not allowed to go in the attic. And that's it. And he doesn't explain to them why. He just, there's things up there that they don't need to see. And that's it. So they go at it. And in the first act, it's pretty much just that, them joking around and doing whatever and moving the stuff out. And we get a little bit of background history on all 3 of the people. Schillinger, we find out, used to be a skinhead and did some prison time, but he is not that person anymore, although he does wear the markings on his body. Imani was in prison for beating some people up, and then Carlos it used to be a junkie, and he's kind of set his life straight now, gotten on the good track, and he wants to send his daughter through university. So that's why he's taking on this job and working his ass off, and they all need this money for their own reasons, right? So that's why they're doing this contract. So that's pretty much the first act. Nothing crazy. Might even be a little slow for some people, but the pacing is really good in this movie. If I'm going to give it another, thumbs up for stuff well done, is the pacing in this flick is really, it keeps moving. It keeps you interested. It's only an hour and 20 minutes long, which is great too. Some of the things that kind of hold the movie back, I don't know, the writing is good, but it's not overly strong. But some of the dialogue the characters have, it's a movie filled with a lot of conversation. And a lot of it works, but some of it doesn't work. I think they could have trimmed that down a little bit. But in the second act, when the ball gets rolling here, you know what I mean? They eventually find that there is something in the attic, and also there's something in the basement. So, because this is a huge mansion of a house, right? So there's lots of room for shit to go on, and it does. And I'll tell you, I wanted more of it. I really did. Now, okay, I'm just going to be honest. There's going to be some people that watch this movie and not like it because they're going to read the synopsis of this flick and think that it's like a creature feature, because the way the synopsis on Shudder reads, it just makes it sound like there's monsters all throughout this house, and that's what I thought. Okay, so I'm not going to lie, I was a little bit disappointed when we get the reveal. But it's low budget. It's ultra low budget, okay? Even though it doesn't look like it, which is props to them for not making it look ultra low budget, but this is ultra low budget. But the effects are there. They're practical. There is enough gore to keep, you know, not maybe the gore hounds happy, but there are some scenes in this movie. You know what I mean? Like, I don't want to give too many spoilers, but I mean, there's like a needle in the eye scene, and it shows the needle going in the eye, and it was great. And there's some other scenes in this flick. There's enough gore to keep people happy, okay? I think the one downfall this movie's really going to have, and a lot of people might complain about it, is the lack of the creatures, because the synopsis, you know, almost kind of gives the promise of a lot of creatures. And again, I don't want to give spoilers, but when you get to the end of the movie, you'll see what I mean. What this movie needs is a sequel. Okay, I don't say this very often, but this is one of the few times where I think this movie does need a sequel. And I'm going to give a little spoiler here. So I'm going to put my hand up. When I put it down, it'll be done. But stay through to the end credits, okay? Because they really do hint at, if this movie does well, there is a strong potential for a sequel. If you watch the end credits, you'll see exactly what I mean. But again, I wanted more, especially out of the ending of this movie, and you'll know exactly what I mean when you see it. But it's budget restraints, man. That's exactly what it is. They just didn't have the budget to pull off what I think they wanted to do. You know, but I respect that. And, you know, it's okay, because at the end of the day, this is, you know, a fairly good movie. It really is. I have seen a lot of movies try and pull off what they don't have the budget for, and they fail miserably. So this movie works nicely around the budget that it's given. And again, it's going to disappoint some people, because they're going to read the synopsis and think it's going to be some monster fest going on in this fucking mansion. But the effects are there. You know what I mean? I didn't have any issues with the practical effects. I love practical fucking effects. And I'm glad they used practical effects and didn't go the route of CGI for all the blood and the gore like a lot of lower budget movies do. And it looks fucking terrible. It really does. Slacks is a good, I just did a review for that movie, and they didn't go the route of CGI either. They used all practical fucking gore, and I love that movie. I didn't love this movie, but I liked it, and one of the reasons is they used practical fucking gore, and it's all in your face. So, you know, props to them as well. So, but again, for the last time, I think the issue that people are going to have with this, again, the writing is okay. The story is kind of tropey a little bit, but it's okay. And the fact that there aren't as many creatures in the movie as it may have seemed promised in the synopsis. So, but all in all, I'm going to recommend you guys watch this movie. To give it a rating, probably give it a 5.5. You know what I mean? It's on Shudder. It's $5. You can't beat Shudder. It's a Shudder original. And trust me, if you've watched this channel, even in the last couple of weeks, you know that I have not had a good things to say about, you know, a couple of the Shudder original movies. But this one is definitely watchable. I just, fingers crossed that they make a sequel and they get a bigger budget. If I had one wish for this movie, that would be it, because I really do want to see them kind of go into this. Well, I mean, the potential of this universe that is inside this house is incredible. So I hope that this movie does fairly well, and that they get the budget to do a sequel, a bigger budget to do a sequel, so they can bring forth some more of these creatures that are in this house. So anyways, it's on Shudder now. It's called Stay Out of the Fucking Attic. Gotta love it, man. Anyways, if you've seen it, let me know what you think. And if you haven't, please go get Shudder. It's only $5. Watch this fucking movie, and then come back and let me know what you thought, guys. And until next time, stay scared.